What's good, YouTube? I just released a patch 7.3 complete PvP guide for Feral Druid. We go in on talents, honor talents, rotation, stat priority, macros, everything. So go and check it out if you want to learn anything about Feral, or maybe see if I play it slightly different to you and things you can try out. But within that, and within talking about the rotation, I mentioned like a super strong opener that I used to do. It actually got me to 2,150 CR, I think it was in Season 1. That's how I'm rocking this set. It's a Season 1 Elite set. It was 2,200 MMR. Now, it is in 2s, so it's not as good as like being 2,200 in 3s, in my opinion. I think 3s is a bit harder. But in 2s especially is where this opener shines. It can be used in 3s as well, but obviously you just have that other person to deal with that can be a factor in shutting you down, if that makes sense. But specifically for 2v2, this is insane, and that's how we're going to address about how to go about it, as if we're in a 2v2 scenario, if that makes sense. So, we're going to run over to the training dummies, and this is the setup you're going to need. The standard, or most known, build for Feral Druid coming in patch 7.3. This is the one. I did cover other builds you can run in the guide, but this is the one that I recommend most people play. Okay, Incarn, Brutal / Blood Talons. That's what really is the focus here, as well as that Lunar Inspiration. So with the open, out of stealth, we get a free stun. Okay, without using bash, just Rake will stun on the open. So you always want to do that. This is, for this whole scenario, this is going to be, this dummy here, the DPS. Let's say we're versing a arms warrior and his healer is a priest. Like a disc priest, okay? This is always going to be the DPS, this is always going to be the priest. And we always open on the DPS. One, it makes the healer not expect a switch. Normally they're ready for you at the start, and then bang, if you come out stealth on their DPS, they get that slight glimpse of a chill period where they're not stressing out you're about to go nuts on them, okay? But little do they know, that is exactly what you're about to do. The problem is you get a more complex start for them to have to handle, because you're going to damage their DPS and then do a quick switch hard, and they're not ready for it. They didn't have any defensives. If it's a resto druid, they're not in bear form, and things like that most of the time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come out of stealth with a Rake, always Moonfire. We'll put up one Shred, Tiger's Fury, Brutal Slashes. We only want to get one Brutal Slash off though, okay? So I used too many there. Rip. And then, as long as there's no stealth class or anything, is where we do the switch. Now this is an early burst setup. A lot of people do burst early. Normally without any structure to it of why they're doing it. They just want to get the damage out. But this is actually a really good opener, because in 2v2 games, you're not normally going to kill within the first like 4 minutes, right? It's pretty much a damage race. As long as no one makes any mistakes, it's not until your next Incarnation is off cooldown that you're going to win the game. Normally, higher rated, right? So don't worry about wasting your burst at all. The initial time that we use it, as in when we just switch to the healer, is to get that advantage and then be in the lead come the your next setup to kill. Okay, so with that said, let's go over a full do-over. I'll run it through, then I'll commentate or let you know what exactly just happened. When the cooldowns are up again, we'll do it a second time. So out of stealth, just imagine the Renegade's just opened. We pop a Regrowth to get the Blood Talons buff. It's just going to buff the Rake that we opened with pretty much. You come over, Rake, Moonfire, Shred. Now at 4 combo points. Tiger's Fury, Brutal Slash into a Rip. We're going to Wild Charge over, Incarnation, Rake. We're meant to stun Rake there. Moonfire up to 5 points. Use your Blood Talons buff into Rip and a big Brutal Slash. And then from there you can do another 2 big Brutal Slashes, DR Stun, and pop Ashamanes when he's into that bash as well. And that was mental. That is such a big, heavy opener. It's unreal. And then, if you think he's not going to die, feel free to switch back. And while he's trying to hit himself up, continue just to spread pressure. And then you continue that from there on, just spreading them down. It's going to be very hard for them to recover with such a big opener. Especially seeing as Incarnation lasts for 30 seconds. Some of the time though, and in 3v3 this will work too, if you can CC the other DPS to peel, like maybe your healer goes for a fear, or you're playing with a warlock and he fears off the other DPS, you can actually global their healer in an open. But if they're very good, that's not going to happen. But this is what we do. We come over, we want to Rake, and then Moonfire. That's just getting our 2 bleeds up. And it'll normally put you, unless one of them crit, at 2 points, okay? Now we do run high crit in this patch, which is why normally you're going to get 4 combo points out of those 3 moves. And that's the goal. We want to get to 4 combo points. We now have 3 brutal slashes ready to go, and they chunk damage. While we're low on energy as well, because we just popped our you know, few abilities there, and also a shred. 3 abilities dumped instantly. We'll pop Tiger's Fury to get the energy back. Now we could hold it later on for more energy, but the really important thing here is the 15 seconds buff on damage for the next 8 seconds, okay? So you pop that into a brutal slash, and then your rip is buffed. So he got a buffed brutal slash put into him. He's got a buffed rip ticking away for the next 20 seconds. And you've got also Tiger's Fury still up, because meanwhile, like, this is still within the 8 seconds. It's a very quick opener. And you have Blood Talons ready to go. We then fly over, if this is a DPS, fly over, stealth it, and stun him out with the Rake, okay? Saving our bash for when we're in this scenario. We consume the Blood Talons at this point, once he's got Rake and Moonfire up and he's at 4 points. Into the Brutal Slash, the Rip, to get both a chunky Brutal Slash because it's buffed from Blood Talons, and the Rip out. And then we have another Blood Talons proc ready to go. So you consume it again immediately, bash them into, there we go, into Ashamane's, and another Brutal Slash, because you would have had both of them ready. So you got all 3 Brutal Slashes on cooldown now. Burst is up, Incarn, you had your Ashamane's up, use your bash to DR it. There is a really good chance he trinketed that half bash, and you've already got trinket out, you've already done a shitload of damage, and they're just in a bad position for the open. So like I said, this isn't going to work all the time. You're going to come into comps, especially in 3v3, that opening with Incarn without like getting something out of the healer first, or a defensive out of the DPS first, is not the best idea. But in 2v2 this really shines, because you're going to get them. You're going to get trinket, probably a pain sup, instantly within the first like 10 seconds of a game, if that makes sense. But don't be scared of trying it out in 3v3 either. I'm just trying to show you what I did, and what I do if I want a strong open on Feral Druid. And now that all the cooldowns are back up, Ashamane's is back off cooldown, let's go over it again. I'm going to talk about it firstly, and then do it in real time without talking and show you just what it does, okay? So I'm going to come over, Rake the dude out of stealth, Moonfire, a shred, maybe another one, up to 4 combo points, Tiger's Fury, Brutal Slash, Rip, pop Incarn, Wild Charge, Stealth Stun with a Rake, Moonfire, shred, he'll be at about, you want it 4 combo points again, consume Regrowth into a Brutal Slash, Rip, so buff, both of them got buffed with Blood Talons, bash, consume the Blood Talons again, Ashamane's Brutal Slash. And that is it. From then on you can do what you want. You can continue to stay on this guy, just hitting with, keeping out the bleeds, hitting with shreds, big ferocious bites to get that 25% damage health reduction, because we're running ferocious wound. If you think you're going to go for the kill now, it's probably worth staying on him just for the next combo point dump just so you can put that Ferocious Bite debuff on him, which is huge. It takes off 25% of their health for the next 20 seconds, and then switch back. That is what I recommend doing. And we'll dump the points in. And now, to finish off the video, I'm just going to do it in real time with no voice. And I'll show you exactly how it goes, okay? And I will in fact stay on the healer to get that Ferocious Bite debuff before switching back to get the bleeds back up, if that makes sense, okay? So this is a healer, set focus thing over here. We're gonna come out of the gate with a regrowth. It's not letting us have stealth, which is awesome. Let's just run away and come back.